Hey everyone, Darren here on Wednesday, March the 11th, looking at a weekly chart of the British pound versus the US dollar. Let's just take a minute and look at the legal disclaimer. Uh, okay, with that, let's move back to the chart. Again, before beginning, for optimal viewing, you want to go to the bottom of the YouTube video, press on the settings icon, which is looks like a little wheel right next to the cinema mode and full screen mode icons. You want to press on the settings icon or settings button, and you want to pick the highest resolution, so 360p or 480p if available. You do not want to leave it on auto. Now, once you've done that, you then want to press on the full screen option or icon for an enlarged picture of the chart. Now, with that, let's go back again. This is a weekly chart of the British pound versus the US dollar. And let's go back a bit in time to October 2013 on the right side of the super trend, and everything was hunky-dory for a while. Then in the summer of this year, we had what we could interpret at that point as a pullback, slight corrective move in sterling from that 170 level down into the mid to low 160s, and then finally something actually substantial took place on the week of September 5th, 2014. We actually crossed convincingly under the midline of the super trend, the gray cross is here, and closed at a level of 163.29 for that week. And so that was basically that changed the perception from it being a correction to it being a trend change. And from that point on, sterling was deemed to be quote unquote unhealthy according to our method, just by the fact that it closed on the wrong side of the super trend. Since then, it's just been persistently below the midline of the super trend, so on the wrong side of the super trend, and down we've gone. As you can see, one top here, then a lower high, and a marginally lower high here. You had been having in January and sort of early February some sort of a bounce that took you from that 150 handle all the way up to the 154, even 155 handle, a five-figure, 5-week bounce, only to be erased totally within the span of 1 week. And that's usually what happens in downtrends. You're swimming against the current. It takes a lot of effort and a lot of work to make headway on the upside, and then boom, in 1 week you give it all back. 5-figure loss last week, and this week it's just been sitting on support at the 150 handle. So where does this leave us now? If we take out the lows of the lowest bar, so this one at 149.50, and we close below 149.50, that should open the way for another substantial leg down in sterling. So that is really the marker for now for us on that currency. 149.50. If on any given week we get a close below that level, that should open the way for some more downside pressure on cable. Looking at the other indicators, again, not surprising. Okay, we got on red bars. Our first real warning, again, the red bars got actually under their midline earlier than the super trend cross. So that was really our first concerning thing. And then we've just been under the midline, that yellow midline with the price bars mostly on red. We had a green bar here, but under the midline, so inconsequential. Another one here under midline, so inconsequential. We had, four green bars on the way up. This one and this one both above, but again on the wrong side of the super trend. So it's not enough to really trigger a long, but and then we've reverted right back to red bars and under the midline again. The composite, however, again has been negative, all throughout. You see on the week right before that cross for the super trend, we got under the pink line on the composite, and we've just been under ever since. Our trend filter has been riding the red line, as you can see, throughout that time. Relative strength below the midline for most of the time. Got above it and is still above it, but again, you've got to take our proprietary relative strength indicator into context. The price action had been so shitty that anything on a relative strength basis was going to look better. Hence the cross above the midline, but nothing on its own really doesn't mean much of anything. Our intermediate term momentum, again, mostly with a reading of -1. So again, where that leaves us is we watched that low from 7 or 8 weeks ago, and if we take it out, then we're going to go lower. Otherwise, sterling will try to bounce off support. By no means, a buy signal. We'd need to get healthy, so we'd need to get above the midline of the super trend, which the more time the currency spends under it, it'll keep, the midline will keep stair-stepping lower, and at some point the price will get above it. But when that's something that we're not even near to achieving right now. In fact, with the pressure we're seeing across the other currencies, such as the euro, I would think of the two scenarios, you're more likely to see a real test of that 149.50 level. Anyways, I will keep you updated on a need-to-know basis, and certainly towards the end of the week. With that, have a good day, and talk to you later.